You want to take the easy way out because you think life is a journey. Life's a journey if you're a moron. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. This is what I'm training you to be like. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's never going to get any better than this, kids. This is the, as I said on YouTube, the eye of the perfect storm. So I'm saying no matter what your age is, it's still time to just go out and do it. No one does know initially, up front. You have to try. You have to swing at the plate. A kid like you, if you had to keep track of 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, what you do. When I was a kid, they said I was retarded. They stood me in the corner with a dunce cap. But people know what a dunce cap is? You know, okay. And if I turned around, they put me in a closet. Kept me there 4, 5, 6 hours. I urinated on myself. I shit my pants until my parents came to pick me up. Now just imagine if that had happened to you. But I used it. It's not what happens to you in life, it's how you interpret what happens. I made it make me stronger, tougher, smarter. Most people would just collapse. When I played football, American football, the coach Roy J., may he roast in hell wherever he is, he says, Pena, you're so slow you ought to wear the other team's jersey. Do you understand what that means? You're such a poor athlete, put the other team's jersey on. You know, good for us. But I kept on going, hitting that line. Boom. You know when they have the tackling exercise, one guy in the middle, and everybody just, I was that guy every day. If that had happened to you, I know what you do. Some of you would have committed suicide. But it made me stronger. Yes, I'm 6'1", 225, a twisted steel and panther piss at age 73. But I endured all this stuff. The rumor is that I'm following in the footsteps of 2 of my mentors. For those of you that aren't bright enough to know that that's Lenin and Stalin and me, there's some truth to that. Because I believe in the old Russian way. I'm not interested in your opinions. That's the last thing I need is your opinion. Because if your opinion was so good, you wouldn't be here. And if you look on my whole wall of influencers, they're both on there amongst some other people like the devil and a few others, Hitler. Mr. Carnegie was a hard bastard. Vanderbilt was a hard bastard. Henry Ford I was a hard bastard. Rockefeller was a hard bastard. Steve Jobs was a ruthless hard bastard. As Apple CEO Cook regularly begins sending emails at 4:30 in the morning on Sunday, he's a hard bastard. Why are all these guys that changed the world got one thing in common? They're tough as nails, ruthless, take no prisoners. And then we got you, a stiff drink and a good kill most people in this room. I'm ashamed to say. In fact, forget the stiff drink, just a good My proceeds from PayPal acquisition were 180 million, blah, 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 blah. Then I had to borrow money for rent. These guys, myself included, are all in. If they believe in what they're doing, they put all their money at risk, which I have several times, not in recent years. SpaceX worker reveals a brutal company motto helped him survive all-nighters working for Elon Musk. Notorious workaholic Elon Musk is so tied to his office that he's been known to sleep on the floor. I slept on the floor. Ford slept on the floor. Jobs slept on the floor. Gates slept on the floor. Success leaves clues, you weenies. I still work 50, 60 hours a week, and I haven't had to work in 35 years. Best advice I ever got from Mr. Grazos, do it. He didn't say just do it. He didn't swear. And the best advice I've ever given anybody is just do it. We take too much time procrastinating. And because we're afraid of failure, and fear is false expectations appearing real. We're worried about what other people think. We're trying to fit in. And I can go through a whole litany of bullshit. Now, it's not bullshit because it's not true. Litany of stuff why you are where you are because you just didn't do it. You didn't want to make a mistake. You got a mortgage. You got two ex-wives. You got a 15-year-old daughter who's pregnant. Your dad's got Alzheimer's. Your mother's got emphysema, spitting up blood. I can go on and on and on and on. But the bottom line is, if you had 15 years ago, you had just done it. 10 years ago, you had just done it. 5 years ago, if you had just done it. 6 months ago, if you just done it, you probably wouldn't be in the position you're in now. So I'm saying no matter what your age is, it's still time to just go out and do it. Just go out and do it. This is what I'm training you to be like. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Warriors, not whiners, not warriors. Do you think Donald Trump is a whiner? Do you think he worries and gives a what you think of him? Do you think Elon Musk gives a what you think of him? Do you think the late Steve Jobs gave a what you thought of him? Do you think Bill Gates gives a and I can go on and on and on. The only one that gives a is you and you and you and the morons on YouTube. Most of you have not attained material wealth because you've stayed in your comfort zone. Every family has an aunt, an uncle, a grandfather that went out and lost a family fortune, right? Uncle Harry, crazy Harry, he lost 20,000, 50,000, a million, whatever the number is. Well, that resonates in you, in your brain, your little pea brain. And then you hear another one. Your roommate in college, he's got an Uncle Harry. So pretty soon, the only input that you have is people losing their family fortune. That affects you. I.e., you then live within your comfort zone. I.e., you don't take risks. A turtle can only move forward when it sticks its head and its feet out. And when it sticks its head and its feet out, it's most vulnerable, right? Biggest risk. Most of you have lived a bubble wrap life. Most of you have been risk averse. Risk averse to the extent there are people beyond my comprehension that get all the way through high school with never been screamed at, never been slapped, never been in a fight, never been reprimanded by their parents. And then look at them. Snowflakes. Snowflakes meaning they melt under pressure. And when I say the world is through, look at you. The reason why the aliens haven't come down and taken us over, what the why? Why? Are they going to learn anything? No. It's simple. Can everybody in this room do it? No. Because everybody in this room is not willing to make the sacrifices. I don't know how to do it 4-hour work week, which came up a little earlier. I don't know, and I know Ferris. And if you believe the 4-hour work week, I've got a bridge to sell you in New York. I mean, one of the comments from the seminar that just ended, from the 18, 20 kids, all of which were about half my age. We had a couple of old gits in their 40s, but most of them were less than 30. They commented at breakfast the last day, which was Saturday or Sunday. They said, how can he still be so fired up running on 200% of all its cylinders when he's been on his feet 15 hours a day for 6, 7, 8 days, and we've been sitting on our arses and we're tired and he's not. You know why? Because and if you don't find something that you love what you do, don't bother. Because if you don't have a passion for what you do and you love, it gets old. I say this stretching a little. It's like a significant other that you've been around too much. You know what I mean? Everybody in this room can relate to that, I think. Okay? Well, if you're not passionate about what you do in life, it gets old, and then it becomes work. And as soon as it becomes work, you're finished. The reason why I'm fired up at the end of a 6-7 day week of 15, 18 hours a day is because I'm passionate about pulling you sorry asses across the goal line. Because that's my goal in life now, to pull as many of the sorry individuals on the planet across the goal line as I can before they put dirt on me. You want to take the easy way out because you think life is a journey. That is horseshit. Life's a journey if you're a moron and you're retarded. That's why, that's what you've done with the life up heretofore. It's been a journey. And how good is the journey? You tell me. Wouldn't you have rather, when the first time you went out with somebody that you thought you were in love with, thought is the operative word, wouldn't you have lied to have a template? Oh, let's follow this process instead of, because that is a journey. And all the mistakes you made and raising this little head for kids you got, instead of having this book. Life doesn't have to be a journey. It's a journey for morons. Do you think life is a journey for the Trump kids? It's a process, the same process his daddy raised him by. Same for me. Life ain't a journey if you're my kid. It's a goddamn process. So you tell me, if you're results orientated at all, who's better off? The journey or the process? Right now, on November 8th, I announced that when Mr. Trump, whether you love him or hate him, this was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever seen since World War II. Now, what are you going to tell your kids and your grandkids 25 years from now when they say, gee, Daddy, gee, Grandpa, what were you doing other than having your thumb up your big ass during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the world? What were you doing? Oh, nothing. That's what most of you will tell them, your grandchildren and your children. It's never going to get any better than this, kids. This is the, as I said on YouTube, the eye of the perfect storm. This is it. I never thought I'd live to see it again. This is going to make the 80s look like a nursery rhyme, which I praise Allah, praise Buddha, praise God. I participated in slashing and raping everybody in the 80s, legally. This is going to make that look like a nursery rhyme. And what are you going to tell your kids? Oh, I had a spreadsheet. I had to think about it. I had to read another book on M&A, you morons. If you are not experiencing anxiety, if your problems are not replaced as soon as you solve one with a bigger one that's geometrically bigger, then you're not growing. I hate to hear people tell me my business is running smoothly, everything's great. Well, then he might as well, or she might as well blow their brains out, because they sure as hell aren't growing. What my deal is all about is growing geometrically, quantumly. And just remember that, and keep an open mind. Because I have been there and done that. There's no question about that. Yeah. Another thing, and I said this yesterday, just because you haven't done it, just because you've never been around somebody that hasn't done it, and just because you've never heard of it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Because absence of evidence is not evidence of their absence. I'm going to say some things that are real foreign to you. Some things that you've been taught by your parents, your grandparents in school, and basically, all that is crap. Now, I'm not talking about moral issues and things like that, or religion. I don't get into that. I was raised a Roman Catholic, if that tells you, and I'm still a Roman Catholic, and my wife's a convert Catholic, if that gives you any idea about where I stand on religion. But I'd be glad to debate any of that during the break. So just keep an open mind. The high performance people that I will continue to allude to all day long live in a different world than you. They came from the same world as you did, but they live in a different world. They think differently. Self-esteem is the key to high performance. It's not work if you love what you're doing. And most of you don't believe passionately in what you're doing.